So we've gotten ourselves a little bit of steel here, and what I want to do with this is I want to build a cage. I want to build a cage that is basically can't be adjusted, but is only built for one type of car, and that's Toyota Camrys. So the reason why I'm going to make a Toyota Camry specific cage is because I have so many Toyota Camrys now that I can afford to build a cage just for Camrys. Now, I've come up with these drawings. It kind of follows a lot like our factory cages that we put in, but I want it to bolt through the floor, go up against the doors, over the top, and this would be the top, and this here will angle towards the back. So that way there's space for my roof sign to put on here. And then the driver door bar, we're going to take some tubing and kind of put a little bit of extra protection down lower. We also might bring this up higher so that it comes to right here, and then have a bar across as well, and then have this in a weird kind of door shape to help protect me. And then I think our gas tank protector will be out of actual tubing itself, so then that way it'll just unbolt. I'm planning to either use 3/4 bolts, or I might just weld 3/4 nuts, drill a hole or cut a hole with a torch and weld 3/4 nuts, so that way it all can be screwed into each other. Or I might drill and tap for 1/2 inch and then just use all 1/2 inch bolts, because I don't have a 3/4 tap, but I do have a 1/2 inch tap. These through the floor will be 3/4, these through the roof will be 3/4, and then this bar here will be detachable. I'm wearing long sleeves today because there's going to be a lot of grinding, cutting, welding. First things first, I do have to get the headliner out of the car. A lot of you guys are telling me that this kind of cage design is actually what everybody in your area runs. So it's about time that I stepped up and built a good cage that is one car specific that I can run in every car repeatedly. So I guess let's set up a time lapse and start going at this. So my welder's got into limp mode again. I've overheated it. That's what you get for welding 1/4 inch thick steel. So I've basically got this cage the way I want it right now. You can't even open the doors because of how tight this is. This is what I wanted. I've moved the gas tank all the way into the back, and I have a sheet of cardboard there to deflect all the sparks away from it. So what we have is we have our upright to the upright that comes through the bar, the window that connects to the halo. 22.5, which equals 45, 22.5, 22.5, 22.5, and then flat. Now this plate right here in the middle is going to have holes drilled through it, so we can actually bolt these two halves together, so that this way it is removable out of the car. And then it's going to have one hole drilled through this to bolt it through the roof, and then one hole here bolted through the roof as well. I'll probably drill 2 holes here and try bolting it and see if they tell me to take it out. I was told 3 through the roof, so if I have to remove one, I have to remove one. It doesn't take too much work. The reason why we stepped it back like we did is basically for the roof side. Let me get one and show you what I mean. So with our front window bar, now this is Cassandra's sign because my sign's on a different car, but now that barely fits in there. So that's what I want, is be able to put my roof sign on the roof and not have the cage interfere with it. With our NG Customs cage, it's always kind of, we can't get all the bolts in the roof sign. We're scared of it being ripped off and being destroyed. So that's why the cage goes around the roof sign. Now you guys say put the cage on top of the roof sign on top of the cage. I don't want to do that. And according to our drawings, it's pretty much the same. Yes, we had to add a couple more bends and stuff, but it's pretty much the same. The next thing we got to do is door bars. And while we let the welder regenerate, our door bars are going to be these bars here. And they're 50 inches long, and we're going to weld the angle iron to the end of it to hook the inside of the door. We are not going to run a dash bar. We are not going to run a dash bar. And then from the door bar, I'm going to do driver side. We might do passenger as well. Come down with a piece of tubing just to add a little bit of extra support, because the door bars are going to be high. They're going to be about here, which leaves quite a bit of room for the door to come in. So we're going to add a just a extra loop like this, just to give us a little bit extra support. We even might make a foot for this to the door, to the floor, just as a little bit of extra support for the driver door. You never know. I don't think we're going to do it to passenger side, but we might. I'm not 100% sure as of yet, but I will let you guys know. We do have the material, so we should do that. Crossbar, I'll show you what I did for that. I had these old feet from a job, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 4 new holes, and I'm going to drill and tap into the 2x5 square tubing, and then those 3/4 holes I'm going to put 3/4 threaded rod all the way through to extrude past the door, and then it will be that will come through the door just like the NG Customs cage, and then be bolted to the outside of the door to help keep the door on. And who knows, we could also make that part of the door plate as well. That's later on, thinking down the road. But hopefully this welder can kick on pretty soon. I'm just going to get the drill out, and I'm going to punch a whole bunch of holes just for where I want all the holes to be. So we need 8 holes up here. We need 8 holes down here. And this is not thin material to drill through. So a lot of drilling to come up, I guess. So the cage is coming quite good. It's looking just like our drawing so far. I kind of had to change it up a bit here, but it hugs the door so tightly. It's drilled through the roof, and then it's bolted to each other. This crossbar is bolted each side with 4 1/2-inch bolts, and then you can see the 2 bolts holding the door bars. Everything went together beautifully on this car. One thing I'm going to do next time is I'm definitely going to hook a ratchet strap to this and pull it ahead, because my driver door bar, I did put a down bar on it, but it's like 1.5 inches off the ground now. So for this first time, I'm just going to put some long bolts in there and try to pull it down as best as I can. If I can't, I can't. It's still bolted to the floor. Hopefully it helps do something. And as you can see, the passenger door bar is in there. So this cage is coming along great. The Derby is fast approaching, and I haven't really got the... Oh, look at that light right in here. I haven't got the gas tank protector done yet. I've started on it, but I'm not exactly sure how far we will get going, but I'm going to keep going. But the Derby's getting closer, so I might not be able to do a gas tank protector up to exactly what I wanted, but this car will have one that is bolted in, and that's what I'm after. So we've gotten a little farther on the cage. As you can see, now we have this tube that comes back with a bend, and the same on the other side, to this white piece of steel that is now our gas tank protector. I still have to do a little bit. I want to weld some angle iron to this to actually hold my gas tank way up here, so that hopefully this cage can be used for straight stock cars with no gas tank protector and no passenger door, and for Pro Mod. So it'll be worked for SS Mini and Pro Mini, but I still have to drill and tap quite a bit of holes to be able to have this gas tank protector removable. So we still got to do that, and then we got to cut up some angle iron to hold the gas tank. So let's get that done. I did it. I finished the cage inside this car. Now this cage would not have taken me as long as it did if I hadn't have made it bolt in. This cage is 100% removable, and it is not bolted to the car, not welded to the car anywhere. I still have to go to town and buy some more bolts. I didn't build a big gas tank protector like I originally was planning, mainly because where I'm going, it's just going to cause problems. I can always add to this later, and I can make it more like the drawings that I originally made up. But I have the gas tank floating on the cross brace. I have the gas tank protector bolted in, welded to itself, so that can go in and out through the back window. The cage itself actually breaks into 2 over top of the main piece and separates right there at the roof. And then the crossbar that the gas tank sits on bolts in. And then the door bars are actually bolted in as well. And they basically do like every other door bar that I've ever made, which sits on the outside of the door jamb. Just a small tack weld there. But I'm happy to say the cage is done inside this car, and now we have a Camry specific cage. This cage will only fit in Toyota Camrys. Yeah, you know, a little later on down the road, I could probably make this thing so it's moddable, so it can fit into other cars, but right now this is Camry only. And it's done, and I'm happy it's done. So the reason I made a Camry specific cage is, an NG Custom is a really nice cage, but the problem is it works great in a lot of situations, but if you want it to work excellent, you have to mod it. And it's just not worth modding. I'd rather keep that cage to go in any car that I find quickly. And then this car here, because I have so many Camrys, I'm willing to invest a lot of my good steel into a good cage into this, so that way it can be removed and put into a lot of other cars. But this car is almost done. Just needs a little bit of things left, like threaded rod in the front. I'm going to try something a little different with the trunk and see how that goes. I've never tried it before. I haven't really seen too many people do it, but we'll go for that next. And then driver door white and small other things like remove the airbag, because somehow I forgot to remove the driver's side airbag. But oh well, cage is done, and I'm extremely, extremely happy about that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow on Zach's Workshop. And don't forget, if you guys are wanting to post any of your photos, please just add Zach's Workshop on Facebook, and feel free to post comments, questions, photos, videos, anything you want. Take care and see you guys back here tomorrow.